in the picture. How come I'm not getting that picture?
Are you pointing the wrong way?
I don't know. Should it be? Maybe I am. Yeah, that was. Okay. Ah, fart. What did I do with my pen?
I don't know.
Must have flipped it on the floor too. No, can't find it.
Probably in a bag or something.
Maybe it fell in. Well, I'll find it later.
You got a pen?
Yeah, there's pens out here. I probably don't need a pen, but I feel naked without it. Okay, get back in the picture. We're on live. And we got a few people already. And let's see if I can get us called up on here. And it's not calling me up. Where are we? And go back here. And let's see. That's not the wrong one. How come I'm not? Oh, here we go. There we are. How come I'm not? Oh, here we go. There we are. You know, I turn that down every time.
That's what you keep saying.
And it goes automatically goes back up.
All right.
Yeah, bite me. Okay, so Mel's here. Hi, Mel. And Anita. And okay. Angela. Angela's here. Okay. And Kathy. Hi, Kathy. And Glenn is here. And Julie's here. Everybody's here. Wow. Everybody came on before we did today. So, can you hear us, first of all? Can everybody hear us, see us okay? Let us know.
Where's the mic?
Mic's right here.
Oh, okay.
Hidden. It's a hidden mic. Oh, I keep wanting to put my feet up, but if I do that, then it's all people see at the bottom of my feet. Anita says she loves that chair. Yes, it's very modern, so everybody can hear us say yes. Okay, so I can see and hear you well. Kathy says, great. All right, so as you can see, we've changed location now. I'm just wondering, you think that light's up being somewhat...
Light?
Is it obtrusive?
I think so.
Let's just get like, that's better.
Yeah.
That's better. Okay, so where we're sitting right now is basically our family room. It's right next to where we usually sit in the kitchen. It's just a part you don't usually see from the camera. Are we in reverse today?
No, that's the way it is. We're reversed, yeah. Look at it in there. Does it look right?
No, it's reversed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's that little problem. Anyways, so part of what we're trying to do each Sunday is just take you to a different room in our house. Walter suggested last night we take you to the bedroom. Don't laugh. We just might. You never know what we're going to do. So I hope everybody's had a good week. And let's see. We got a lot of things to show you and tell you today and whatnot. Just trying to get my stuff in right position so I can see what people are saying. So today's drink, one of Walter's concoctions.
It's a variation of last week's drink. It is another peach something. But this time instead of vodka, I put gin in it. And I put some strawberries in with it. That's what makes it the salmony color.
Can't really taste the gin.
No.
Which is just as well because I'm not the biggest fan of gin.
Well, I didn't put a lot of gin in it.
But I'm eating Smart Pop popcorn. His latest favorite. Hi, Catherine. Oh, somebody new. Greta. Hi, Greta. Welcome. I don't know if Greta, if you've ever been in the chat room with us before. I'm just taking a look here to see if I have you in my little notes. No, I don't think so. So, Greta, welcome. Where are you from, if you don't mind us asking? I just keep little notes here. Not because I'm, filing documents on you or anything. It's just out of curiosity. Okay, so What's been going on? Well, let's start with my mother because we just got back from the hospital visiting her. Actually, she was in pretty good spirits today. I took her a hot fudge sundae from Dairy Queen because the other day when we were over there, I asked her. I always make the mistake of asking her, "Is there anything that you want?" And she usually comes up with something.
So she asked for a hot fudge sundae, and it's 27 degrees here today.
And
Dairy Queen's not next to the hospital.
No.
So
you got?
actually, we had a little thermos pouch that we still had, so I put some paper towels on the one side of it so that it'll keep the ice cream upright. And packed it in there, and actually it didn't do too bad of a job.
No, it was okay.
It was reasonably, it hadn't completely melted, so.
No. I just thought of something. I should put a sign for Stephen Walter Live on the back of this when I hold it up.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the one
Now
I
you
use.
got nut shelters.
Yeah, nut shelters. That's for the
Well, I think
art
we're
gallery.
nuts.
Yeah.
We
well,
are nuts, but.
Well, speak for yourself. So anyways, she's in pretty good spirits. No sign yet of when she'll be moved from the hospital to the nursing home yet, but she is eating a little bit more
better,
than she was. Not complaining quite as much about the food. And while we were there, this lady came around and she has an iPad and she takes my mother's dinner order. And they have quite a few
And they
things.
have quite a selection. She had a selection between about
Five things.
7 or 8 different entrees.
Yeah, they had
Lasagna, they had pot roast, they had
haddock.
Haddock, they had I can't remember.
Oh, shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. Can't remember
There
what
was
else.
something else too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was surprised they had such a choice.
I wanted to stay.
Yeah, I know. It sounded not too bad. My mother turned her nose up at the pot roast. She said she'd had too much beef there already or something. But she got the same thing as she
Oh,
had.
they had stir fry too.
Oh, yeah. She got the same thing as she had last night, I guess. Haddock. And she said it was more like fish and chips in the way that it was prepared, which is fine. I don't like fish, so that wouldn't have been one of my choices. But my mother likes fish, so that's good. And she's reading again.
Yeah,
finally.
which is good.
In fact, she's gone through a lot of the books that we took over for her a few weeks ago, and I just bought her 3 new books. I don't buy new ones. I get them from Value Village because, you know, the kind of books that she reads are basically pulp fiction kind of a thing, and they're just throwaways. And I don't buy books anymore anyways because I read everything electronically on my Kobo, which is for the Americans. That's the Canadian version of an Amazon or of a Kindle on that. But I tried to actually offered one time to get her one of those, and I thought that would be easier, but she's not very good with technology. And although they're very simple to use, she'd still screw up. So books are the best way. But I am really happy that she's reading. Her TV set's been working.
I'm surprised that her TV set's worked. I think she finally figured out how to use it because it's another thing that has a touch screen on it, and it seems to boggle her mind with it as a touch screen.
Well, she doesn't really touch them. She kind of
points at them and thinks they're going to work.
Yeah, like, hello, move the channel. Wish it would. But did you notice, though, too, the last few times I've been over there, TV set hasn't really been on. She's been reading.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she gets all the channels that she likes on that one. But that's
probably good.
I think that's really good. She seems to be alert and, well, I think it's a good thing. And, yeah, we'll probably go downhill a little bit when she finally gets moved into a nursing home. But, again, they're going to get her up. They're going to put her in a chair. She got a brand new wheelchair. They've been adjusting it for $10,000 for a wheelchair. But, luckily, in our system, the government covered most of the cost. All we had to pay for it was $757 or $775, whatever it was. Which isn't too bad. And now they're adjusting it and making sure it's comfortable for her and all that kind of stuff. So that's really a good thing. So, yeah. Now, what I'm waiting for is the hospital bill. Because she's there waiting for a nursing home room, they are entitled to charge us a co-payment, which means a payment that is subsidized by the government. But it shouldn't be any more than...
Well, it's basically the cost of what it would cost to live in a nursing home.
Yeah, at basic
so
level.
So at the basic level, which is probably about $1,800 a month.
It's about $1,819 a month, which is fine. her finances are such that she can handle that no problem. But they contacted me last week. They wanted to see her latest tax assessment from her 2017 tax return.
Because if you don't have enough money to pay the 1819, then the government will subsidize you up to the 1819.
Yeah.
Actually, they subsidize you, I think, up. If you don't have enough money to pay for it, they give you that plus $100, I think.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Whoa. So you can go out there and
Yeah,
buy
so you
yourself
can buy
a
yourself
chocolate
a chocolate bar, yeah.
Yeah. Or a buck of beer. We'll come to that. But anyways, so I'm expecting probably next week to hear something back from their finance department, which they want to see the tax assessment to see how much money she took in last year. But I think it's more than what they will, like what Walter just said about paying for the whole thing. You have to basically make $2 in a year to get that. But still, this is not in today's way in a hospital. I know for Americans without insurance or whatever, it's just you can't afford it. And this is one thing about our system here. Yes, we pay high taxes, but it's worth it for this. And those people that I've heard say that don't come from our country that universal health care sucks, they shouldn't do it, blah, 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 quite frankly, are just full of crap. Really, who needs a $40,000 hospital bill for like 1 week and a broken leg or whatever? So anyways, not going to talk much more about my mother. We talked too much about her, but I'm really happy right now about how things are going. Okay, break the plate.
Yeah, okay, fine, yeah.
Like, really? Maybe I should leave you in the kitchen. So that's all good. Let's see what people say. Yes, I've been on here before, Greta says. I'm from Calgary. Oh, okay. I'll write that down. Calgary. Now, speaking of Calgary, by any chance, does the name Kim Jameson Hurst mean anything to you, Greta? The reason I bring this up is because she has a site which I reviewed last week on my vlog called The Quilter's Way and Chatterbox Quilts. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Kim in a few minutes, but I just, you never know. If you don't ask, you never know about these things. So Calgary. It's funny. We don't have a lot of Canadians on here, at least ones that chat with us. It's only a couple. We have them from Australia, England, Finland,
Holland,
the States. Do we have Poland?
Holland.
Yeah, I was going to say
Netherlands.
Yes, we have Netherlands. Yeah, but we don't have a lot from Canada. New Zealand. We have New Zealand.
Australia.
Yeah, I said that.
United States.
Oh, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, lots from the States. Yeah. Well, anyways. So, what's coming up on my vlog tomorrow? The vlog may not be up quite as early. Well, it depends. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow morning for a cleaning and a checkup, and it's at 8 o'clock in the morning. What was I thinking when I made that appointment? And I hate going to the dentist. But I go to the dentist because the one thing I would hate more is to have a mouthful of teeth like my parents both have.
Well, does anybody like to go to the dentist?
Well, no. But that one, the cleaning, she gets in there and she's just like digging for dirt in China, I swear. And I'm very conscious about my teeth. I mean, I floss and I brush minimum 4 times a day. And, after every time I've eaten, and I floss too all the time because my parents' teeth are horrible. Well, my father's gone now, so his are pretty much fixed up then. But my mother's are just, don't smile, Mom, because... And the problem is she doesn't have any... That's the one thing about our healthcare system here. It doesn't cover dental. You have to have other insurance to cover dental. And dental is more expensive than doctors, it seems. So we're lucky we have a plan. But even still, there are limitations to any of the plans, and it's just astronomical. And this time, of course, they'll want to take x-rays, because every other time I usually go every 9 months for cleaning and a checkup. And every other visit, they want to take their bloody x-rays. And that's like $100 and some when they do that. Then the cleaning.
Well, you get 85% back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not bad. But nevertheless, I just don't like coin. And then they try to talk to you while they're in there rooting around. So, what have you been up to? Oh, yeah, I know. I had that too. I remember the last time I went. Yeah. Have you traveled anywhere? Yeah, I was there once, loved it. How the hell did they know what I'm saying?
Maybe they're used to that.
Maybe I should try
So
something.
it's been dentist language.
I guess it must be dentist talk, whatever. Oh, wait, now I'm confused. Okay, Greta says that, no, she doesn't know the name. Okay, I didn't figure you would, but you know, you never know. Small world. Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. Let's see. I'm not sure what Angela meant when she had IOM.
Is it laugh my hat? No.
No, that is an I, isn't it? Or is it an L? No, it's an I.
I
Okay,
know.
you'll have to fill me in, Angela, on what that means. I don't understand. Greta says, I'm not a quilter, but I am also from the... Oh, she's also from the Netherlands. So, well, I kind of wondered, your last name and your first name are kind of like Dutch-like. So, yep. And if you didn't know already, but you've been here before, you said, Walter has roots in the
Zwolle.
Netherlands too.
Zwolle.
Zwolle?
Zwolle.
Excuse you. Where are you from?
Zwolle's in Holland.
Swallow? I haven't got anything in my mouth to swallow.
Zwolle.
Ah, whatever. Little drip. What are we eating and drinking? Brenda wants to know. We are drinking... What would you name this concoction? Peach.
It's sort of a daiquiri, but it's made with gin.
Peachy gin. Sort of.
It's peach and strawberry. That's why it's sort of a salmon color.
And this Smart Pop stuff. What flavor was this? Is this Asiago?
Gouda.
Oh, Gouda. Ew.
Yeah, Gouda and chive.
Gouda and chive. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
but
maybe Gouda.
the drink, it's with fresh peaches and frozen strawberries.
Hi, Jetty. Is it Jetty or is it Yeti? Like, how do you say J in Dutch?
It would be like I think it would be, yeah.
Yuck?
Yeah.
Yeti?
Yeti or whatever.
Yeti?
Because my sister's name is, we call her Jessie, but her actual name is Yitska, starting with a J.
Oh, okay. And, oh shoot, what happened? All right. Go back. There we go. I'm back to normal. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Okay, I hit something, turned my hand, and now... Oh, yeah, okay. This should get me... All right. I don't know what I'm
Okay,
doing.
you-
Keep talking.
You can't figure out technology
Well,
either,
no,
can you?
it just disappeared on me, which is unusual. And I don't have any way of getting...
Well, you gotta be able to get back to it.
Well,
You maybe have to restart it again.
okay.
Oh, actually, what you do is you
I
pull
got
up
it.
your thing.
I already
Okay,
did it.
yeah, all right.
Figured it out. Okay. Oh, there's something here in Dutch from Jetty.
Well, I hope I can read it.
Well, it says... I think it says correct, Walter.
Yeah, correct.
So,
yeah.
See, I can read Dutch. Wow. And hi, Maggie. I'm just catching up here. Okay, people. So, anyways, on the vlog this week, as I said, I'm going to the dentist. When I come back, I'll do the vlog, and got lots of little things to tell you about and show you. There's some video clips too this week as well. Last week's was very long. This week shouldn't be as long as last week's. With that, sorry about it. They had too many video clips. And let's see, what's next? Okay, so let's talk sewing for a moment. All right, I had another problem with my new Janome machine, my big embroidery machine. I was trying to do some embroidery and the thread kept balling up underneath the bobbin case, a big knot, and I tried everything to get it to stop doing that. And I did notice there was one little tiny little piece that didn't look quite right to me, and I compared it with my other sewing machine, and yeah, it shouldn't do that. So I took it into the store, and luckily it was a very easy fix. little spring part that holds the bobbin in. It was there. It wasn't broken or anything. It had just been knocked out of alignment, and you take a screwdriver, give it a little push, and away it goes. And it's been fine since. But I was kind of having a heart attack about this. And so Ultimate Sewing, that's the place where I buy my machine, where I practically live there these days. And you know that they've offered me a job there twice. So I've offered to work for them, but not in the store. I've offered to go in and assess their computer needs, because I know the owner, she doesn't have a lot of computer skills, and she's really, really busy to be mucking around with basically clerical stuff, making signage for the store, doing the newsletter, updating her website, that kind of stuff, because she's go, go, go all the time. And she did ask me if I would be willing to come in and show her, like one of the days when the store isn't open, come in and sit down with her and show her how the computer worked and whatnot. But I thought what might be better is if I offered to do whatever she needed to have done on her computer that she can't get to or whatever. So she seems to be really interested in that, and even talked about establishing a YouTube channel for her store. So, she could show new products, techniques, that kind of stuff. And she seemed really excited about that. So in another couple of weeks, she's away on holidays this coming week. The week after that, she's getting ready for their big open house. They have this a couple of times a year, and that's when people come in. They line up outside to get in. I think I told you about the last one back a few months ago when I signed up for all kinds of courses and stuff like that. And so that's kind of hectic for her that week. But then after that, things slow down for a while. So she seems interested in that, and I work cheap. I work for Fabric or whatever. So, and I can do it from home. That's the beauty of it all. I don't have to be in the store to do this kind of stuff. I don't want to work in the store and wait on customers, because I'd have to kill them, some of them. It's just, I can't stand it when people come in and they go, okay, I've got this pattern, I really like it, but I don't know what colors to go with it. And I go, what colors do you like? Well, I don't know. And they're all afraid of picking the wrong colors. And I go, this one, this one, this one, that'll look lovely, go with it, moving on. Oh, thank you. It's like, make a decision here. It's only material. It's only fabric. And you can't really blow it with a quilt, anyways, with whatever colors you use. That, for some reason, quilts are magical. It just all goes together. But anyways, we'll see. Actually, I could use the job. I could use some of the money, because I've just given it back to her. Maybe she'll hire you.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I probably look too mean to the customers.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're just a mean son of a... Never mind. So speaking of the sewing, we have been busy, including Walter. So I'm going to show you some of the projects. I'll give some close-ups on these tomorrow on the vlog, but because this is not easy to show here. But let's see, what do we start with? Well, I made a bag earlier this week, a bland bag. There it is, and it's all lined inside, nice square bottom, and it turned out pretty good. This is like several pieces of material in here, front and back. This isn't just one piece, so it's sort of quilting method, piecing and everything. But I do have some boo-boos, and I did an Idiot Quilter episode about the boo-boos. I got a little tiny gather right up here in the corner. You can't see it, and no one would ever notice it in 1,000 years unless they're sitting here going, oh, we'll see if it's that done. And two of my handles didn't quite go on properly. They're supposed to be between the lining and the bag, and when I got finished going around the bag, you noticed the little corner was peeking out in each one, so I had to sort of rip open the seam, stuff them back in, and reinforce it. But I wasn't really happy with... I followed this from a pattern. Other bags I've done, I've sort of followed a pattern, sort of haven't, but this time I decided to follow a pattern, and I did exactly what it said, and I wasn't happy with how strong the handles are, like how they're sewn on. I think they need it to be... Like, they only have about 1/8 of an inch of basting here, and then the top stitching to hold them. They don't go down very far, and I thought they needed to be more supported. So Walter wanted to make a bag. As you know, we got the material a week ago or so. And so
the material is somewhat similar, but.
He
And I
only
didn't
has-
do all the piecing. I just did one piece.
He just did one piece, and oh yeah, my bag has got pockets inside too. See that? Look at that, pockets inside. Yeah, cool. His did
And I
not.
didn't do any pockets.
He didn't do that, but he did this, and we did change the. You got a couple of threads on here. We did change the handles a little bit so they're better reinforced inside, and he got a nice square bottom. Which doing bottoms, when you do it the first time, is not easy to get squared, but he got them, and no gathers. So the bastard did a better job in his bag than I did on mine, but I taught him. So
And-
you know,
And he made a couple of mistakes along the way too.
I forgot to tell you to leave
Well,
the
first they
lining.
cut the
open.
fabric the wrong size.
Well, that was you.
No.
Yeah, it was because you said you didn't want to cut it that way. You wanted to cut it the other way, so I let you cut it the other way, and that's why it all got screwed up.
Not the handles. I'm talking about the squares. Remember, you could cut them.
Yeah,
the
I
wrong
know.
size?
I didn't cut them. You cut them.
Yeah, right.
You changed
You
it.
told me to.
Oh
cut
yeah,
them.
yeah. Now always blames me for that, and yeah, I kind of forgot to tell him, but I had done that on my bag too. When you do the lining, you have to leave a hole, about 6-inch hole in the seam, so you can pull the bag in because it's all attached together. To pull the bag, you know, inside out. Well, it's inside out, so it's the right sides out with it. And if you don't have that hole, you can't really do it. It's kind of impossible. So we had to reopen that seam up, but that was good for you to learn that because
Yeah,
that's
right.
a common pitfall in bag makers first time, and you can't be absolutely perfect. Now he has to get shoes to go with the bag. So what are people saying here about that? Good job, yay, Walter. Go back. Mel says that's really nice bag, and your choice of fabrics and color works very well together. And yay, great, Walter, says Jetty. And Brenda says good job, Walter. And Julie says both bags are so good. And Julie says great job, Walter. And Kathy says go, Walter. And Anita says, oh, gotta go, I'll catch up later. Okay, we scared her away. By Anita. And Maggie says, great job, Walter. Both bags are beautiful. And Mel says, well done, Walter. Hard to believe you haven't been sewing anything before. Just wish I could do something like that.
Well, that's not entirely true. I did
Yes.
sew some stuff when I was younger. I made some curtains,
Mhm.
but I didn't follow a pattern. No, that's not true. I followed a pattern in a book. They told you what to do in the book, so I followed that. And then I made a couple of Halloween costumes where I didn't follow a pattern. I just sort of did it.
Yes, he made me a couple of dresses a couple of years in a row for Halloween costumes. Actually, the best one was, though, the Minnie Mouse costume. I got some good mileage out of that one. I wore it to school once. I'll never forget. It's Minnie Mouse. It's a little pink gingham style, or gingham or calico. No, I guess it's sort of a gingham kind of pink thing. Little fruffles on it. His sister had these Mickey Mouse ears that she'd made for her kids years ago, and we had to take some of the stuffing out so I could get it on my head. And I had those, and I had done my makeup on, had fake eyelashes, and rouged up my cheeks, and did lipstick, and had little white gloves with little cuffs on them. I think you did those too, didn't you? You made the little cuffs and the whole bit, and little socks that matched the gloves, you know, like Minnie Mouse wears, and these shoes that I had done up in sequins and stuff for it all. And I was wearing like black pantyhose. Oh, there was a tail with that too, wasn't there? Yeah. You didn't make the tail. Your sister didn't make the tail.
No, that was, I bought it at a costume shop.
Oh, I thought your sister made it.
No.
Oh, okay. So I went to school in this, and the vice principal wanted to see me the morning I walked in, and I can't remember what she wanted to see me about, but I walked in, sat down in a chair by her desk, crossed my legs, and went, so, what do you want? And she says, I don't know. She says, I can't talk to you when you're dressed like that. And that was okay because I said to her, anytime I wanted to get her off topic, she was a great shoe collector. She loved shoes. And so if you didn't want to discuss anything with her and you get her off topic, you just say, those shoes are fantastic. Where'd you get those? Oh, I got these last time I was in New York and they were really... And she said, what were we talking about? I don't know. I think we're done here. And leave. So, yeah, that was fun. But anyways, he made me that dress. Mel says, Glenn, let's see, back up. Glenn says, both bags are great. You should sell them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I've got enough of them now. I've got about 6, 7 that I've made, different styles. And Glenn says, especially Walter's. Okay, I'm blocking you into that. And Mel says, I did so years ago and now can't even remember how to thread my machine. Got to get back into it. I quite like sewing. Well, at least like the quilting and the bags and things. I don't want to do garments. Angela says, wow, good guys. Okay, so, but we're not done. There's more. So, that was my bag. So, then I was playing with the embroidery on machine, and we got these towels at a store called Yisk. Like, they were $2.99 a piece. I wanted them more for practice, and they had kind of crappy colors, so these aren't too bad in colors. So, I had bought online an embroidery pattern for this butterfly. And so I did it on.
Is that right side up? It's upside.
Is it upside down?
No, it isn't.
No, it's right. Yeah, the only thing about this pattern, there are like antennae that spiral out here, but it's very difficult to see them. And I did 2. And this one, I flipped the butterfly the opposite way so that when they're hanging up, you get them like looking at each other or something like that. The only thing here is I probably should have embroidered them a little further down on the towel, because they're kind of in an awkward spot when you go to hang them up. If they were lower to near the bottom, it would be, you know, easier when you hang them up so you can see the design better. But if I fold them in such a way, I can do it. So I'm having a lot of fun with that embroidery part of the machine. And then Walter had said back some time ago, we need some cushions for the couch downstairs where we did the thing last week, the live. So I saw this video about using your scraps to make cushions. So I did. In fact, I made 2 cushions. These are just strips of fabric that I had left over from other projects. On the back is just some more material, and look at this. I made it so it's like a pocket, so you can just stuff your, if you have to wash them, they'll come off, no problem. No zipper involved and the whole bit. Now I did see that on a YouTube video, but it's very easy to make. But I think they really add a punch of color downstairs in the rec room, because the couch down there is a very neutral browny color kind of a thing, light brown. So, and best part was I didn't buy pillow forms to put in them. Over at Yisk again, they had outdoor cushions on for $4.99. I didn't even realize that they had a zipper cover on them, and they're sort of a vinylized for outdoor use, but they were just the right size. They fit right in here, no problem. So, and at $4.99, you can't buy a pillow like a, what do you call it, a
Pillow form?
Pillow form or something for probably less than that. So, actually, we should have gone over there today and bought a couple more. Forgot all about that. Do that tomorrow if they've got some more. So, yeah, I'm really happy about those. I think they turned out great and fast. This takes no time at all to put together with them. And it's easy. Even you, Mel, you could do it. You could do this, Mel. It's easy. And then we're watching nice colorful cushions. We're watching YouTube last night, and as we usually do. And we're watching once about embroidery stuff. And apparently embroidery machines do more than just embroider. You can actually do layered appliques with them, or you can make certain projects. They have the stitch pattern. You download the stitch pattern, and you can make a whole project that normally you would stitch with your machine and you would be putting all together. The embroidery machine will put it together sort of for you. So I made this little zipper pouch. And this was all made, and see that zipper? This was all made, it's not lined, but it was all made on embroidery hoops in the machine. Now, the instructions for this were not very clear. So I did spend some time dissecting how this was put together and what they meant. But the final product, actually, I'm kind of impressed. It turned out pretty nice. I might make another one, but then with the next one I make, I'm going to embroider on it as well too. You know, I was talking about making a pouch for my mother for her birthday, which is on Wednesday this week, so I got to get on with it. I embroidered her name or something across it with a nice thing. I just went with, a neutral kind of a thing this time. But actually, not bad. Now, do you save time doing this? Not really. If you're an experienced sewer or whatnot, you could rattle one of these up without using the embroidery machine fine with it. So I don't know how many of these I would make using that system. But what I did, I think we froze.
Oh.
We just froze. Are we coming back? Can you guys still hear us? But are we frozen at your end? Everything's still frozen. What's going on? Why is this happening? This has happened more than once. You can hear us, but we're frozen, Andy says. Okay,
Well,
we'll just give it a second
minutes.
here.
We've had it happen before.
Yeah, it should kick in again in a minute, I hope. Yeah, everybody's saying they can hear us, but the picture's frozen. We'll just give it a second. It may rejuvenate itself. But anyways, we'll just keep talking. Mel says you should make pouches for pencils and brushes. That kind you can roll, and it has loops for each pencil and brush. And you can sell them.
We're back again.
Oh, we're back. Okay, yay. We're moving again. Okay,
There's
you guys...
stuff in my face.
Are we... Yeah, we're working. Okay, so you guys should be able to see us now moving. Do you see us moving?
I don't know why that happens.
I don't know. That's weird. But lately...
Maybe the upload all of a sudden stopped.
Maybe. Yeah, Glenn says you're working now. So anyways, back to what Mel says. She said about pouches for pencils and brushes. The kind that you can roll and it has loops. I know what you're talking about. Well, those are easy to make as well. But they're also very affordable. I mean, people can buy those almost anywhere. At least around here you can. So, if you want to sell something, you got to make something that people are willing to pay for it, that they can't just buy at a dollar store. And when people buy things, they become a little picky about the quality. And I'm very picky about the quality of what I make. There's some things about this little bag that bother me. Although, every time I look at it, it's a little bit more impressive. But we'll see. So, anyways, we've been sewing. So Walter's going to make a quilt. He's got a kit. We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah. There's a lot of pieces to cut.
Oh, that's a small quilt. That's not even a full-size quilt. It's just a lap.
Yeah.
Thing. Actually, it's a wall hanging, I think, more than anything. But, oh, there's my pen.
No.
Or is that the other one I picked up?
That's the other one you picked up.
Oh, plastic. Mel says, oh no, it's working for Mel. Kathy says, mine keeps buffering. I don't know how to refresh. Okay, Kathy, what you probably would have to do is go out of YouTube and go back into YouTube and click back on to us. And that might do it. And Andy says, you go, Walter. Welcome to another addiction. Julie says, wish that was true with mini albums. People do not want to pay a decent price for them. People don't want to pay a decent price for anything that anybody has made. I think we've discussed this before. Because people who don't make these things think that because someone made it and it's not mass manufactured, that they should get it at a bargain price. Mm-hmm. No. If anything, they should be paying double because of the time and effort it takes for people to put into this kind of thing. I think I mentioned before, it's about quilts. Quilts sell for thousands of dollars. And you hear people say all the time, I wouldn't pay $2,000 for that quilt when I could go to Walmart or Bed Bath & Beyond or something like that and get a nice quilt for $200 or something like that. Yeah, what you're getting is something that's machine-made mass production. It isn't...
Mass production by big machines. And they're not hand sewn. The people, workers, and a lot of those places are made in third world countries where the workers are making very little money to produce them.
Yeah.
If they are hand sewn. Chances are they're not hand sewn.
No. I mean, we just put a new bedspread quilt style on our bed, and it's got like little line of stitching in it, and that's supposed to be quilting. And it's not even close.
All it's doing is making the batting stick to the inside, so.
Yeah. I'm just looking here at what people are saying.
And that if we didn't pay full price for it, but even that, the retail price for that bedspread was $200. And I'm
Yeah.
glad we didn't pay 200
Oh
for
God,
it
it's not worth it. I am going to make one, as I keep telling people, for the bed myself. I have it all. I have the material. I have the pattern, the whole bit. And I just have to get, once I get into it and start cutting it, it'll be fine. It's just I don't want to blow it, but bite the bullet, go for it. After all, as I hear, I think it's the Quilting Marine, he says, hey, it's just thread and fabric, which is true. That's all it is. I mean, if you make a mistake, you can always fix it. You can cover it up. So I just tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. All right.
Or you can make another one.
Or you make another one. Yeah, well, I make lots of them. So I make them actually not for the end product as much as for the process of it. But he's going to make this quilt, and because he wants to use it to
I just want to use it.
on
I just want to use it to experiment with it because
Yep, everybody's okay now. Yeah, it's something to experiment on. Actually, I bought it on sale back 6 months ago or so at the Ultimate Sewing. So whatever, I probably never get around to doing it. I'll do something else. Kathy says, that cleared the blurry picture too. Yeah. Julie says, yes, but bigger projects are hard to get going with. Yeah, that's true. Lately I've been just mystified by sitting there and watching all day my embroidery machine embroider. It's fascinating to watch it, what it does. It's sort of like the Cricut, you know. When you first get a Cricut, you stand there and watch this, look at this, whoa. And by the way, I got my heavy-duty scoring blades for the Cricut came. I've tried them once. They do a much better job than the stylus. They're not particularly cheap though, that was for sure.
doesn't it take a long time to?
Well, no, those scoring blades. You're talking about the knife, the blade knife. Oh yeah, the blade knife takes forever on a project. It does a good job, but don't be in a rush. Because I've had some things that I've cut, depending on how intricate and how large they are, take several hours for it. For those of you that have a Cricut. Well, Marion's here. Hi, Steve and Walter. I usually watch recordings or alert the live feed. Well, Marion, it's very nice that you're here, the live one right now. Welcome to us. And Julie says, I hand sew my quilts. A bed quilt can take years to do. Yeah, if you're hand sewing your quilts, I would never even attempt hand sewing. I have no desire to learn how to hand sew. Nothing. I would be a bloody mess. I'm a klutz with a needle. I stab myself all the time. Even when if I have to sew a button on something. Actually, my sewing machine has a button sewer, and so I don't sew buttons on by hand anymore if I need to. I put them on the sewing machine. So I'm all about the technology. Okay, so moving off of all of that, what's newsworthy? Well, have you heard?
Did you do any scrapbooking stuff?
Oh yeah, I did the Mike Deacon journal. Now I talked about that in my vlog last week, and we talked last week too about poor Mike and Ian, and the burglary and things. I don't know how things are going in terms of settlement with the insurance company. They were giving them a really hard time, and Mike had a special vlog up last week too, talking about, well, you could tell he was really pissed off with the way the cops were handling the whole thing. And apparently over in where he lives, they don't even send out real cops for this kind of stuff. They send out, I don't know what they are. They're, what they called them. He had a name for them. But they're like volunteers that do the basic investigation and stuff. And I guess they really botched it up. So then he was going through hell with the insurance company. Of course, that's what insurance companies are like, right? They'll take your money. They don't want to give you any.
Well, I guess they had some cash stolen. And the insurance companies want you to prove that you have the stuff. So unless you have proof on how you got the cash. And I think he says, what's his, Ian? He gets it from the sales of his products.
Yeah.
So unless he has, he would have to have receipts or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that. But anyways, so I put together, and if you saw the blog, you know what I'm talking about. I buy his stencils all the time and his digi downloads. And his stencils come nicely packaged up, but I use the packaging to create a journal. In fact, I used all of his products, with the exception of the ribbon I put on to tie it down, or to do the closure, all out of his products. Sort of a tribute to him. And I sent him a special note about that I had done this, and I sent him a link to where the video was so he could see what it looked like. I had thought of actually sending him that journal to him, but you know, Mike makes journals all the time too, and he makes some beautiful, like very elaborate journals. So I thought, you know, I like it too much. I want to keep it for myself. So anyways, so yeah, that's all I did in scrapbooking. I have to get to work on my workshops that I'm going to be doing in the fall. First one in September for Class Act. Haven't done anything with those yet. You know, my heart isn't in it anymore. Journal making, yes, but it's all about quilting now. I'm just not as interested as I once was in all the other stuff, which, oh well, maybe I'll get back into the swing of things. Let's see, what are people saying? Julie says she loves hand sewing. Well, that's a good thing, because you're doing it all by hand. And Kathy says, I have always machine piece, but I did hand quilt a Christmas quilt once. Don't know where it is. And Marion says, most insurance companies don't cover cash. And Julie says, the police over here are not good for what they claim is just stolen property. They are called community policemen. Oh, okay. Which help with the full power policemen and women. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we don't have that here.
No, we don't have that here.
It's the cops are the cops. You know, like that's who comes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you get any better service though.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, insurance companies probably won't tend not to cover cash, because what's stopping somebody from lying and saying that they had $300 cash in the house? I mean,
yeah, we had some friends that got broken into, and
they never seem to have any cash.
Mm-hmm. But that particular time, they had some cash. You know what I'm saying? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. They don't watch this anyways.
But like, I'm not saying that Mike Deacon's doing that or anything.
No,
like that.
I don't.
But I don't think so. But that's sort of why insurance companies
Yeah.
won't pay it out, because probably too many people lie about it.
Yeah, I was thinking we should go around the house and do a video again of everything for insurance purposes, because you never know. We did that a long time ago, but that was a long time ago. Okay, so have you all heard what our new Premier of Ontario is doing?
Did we talk about this last week?
Did we talk about Buck a Beer?
I think we did.
Did we talk about Buck a Beer last week?
I think we did.
Maybe we did. Well, anyways, we have Buck a Beer now. Not really. No, that's the minimum.
Yeah, I'm sure we did talk about that.
Yeah, maybe we did. Well, we can move on then. But anyways, just to say, if you're coming to Canada and you're expecting to get a beer for $1,
No, you won't be able
you're
to.
not going to be able to. So it's not going to happen. It's
would be in the well, we have beer stores or other stores that sell beer, and that would have to be like in one of those stores. But even now, there's only 2 producers, I think, that said they might be able to produce a buck of beer, but they're probably
But they're not going to sell it for $1. The consumer is not going to be able to buy a beer for $1.
Oh.
Because there's no way those.
Well, first of all, they wouldn't be able to, because we have deposits on our beer bottles and cans.
Yeah.
So you would have to pay at least $1 plus deposit.
But is this point going over your head or what? They need to make a profit.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't say that they won't make a profit. Right now, there's beer that you can buy that's $1.25 each.
Not as a single.
Yes.
Where?
Oh, maybe not as.
No.
You're right. Not as a single. Yeah.
Like,
Okay, never mind.
you're getting too complicated in the mathematics. It works simple until I go into a place and they say, "Oh, look, they've got Labatt's Blue."
No, they don't. It would.
It's not
No,
gonna
it will
happen.
be you have to buy a whole case.
Yeah.
24. 2 4.
A two-four. Yeah, two-four.
That's
Okay.
what we call a case of 24 beer here, 2-4.
Two-four. Okay, but another thing came out. Now it's getting to a sad point where they have to ban hate rallies in Toronto. First of all, I would think you'd want to ban hate rallies no matter what. But apparently there's been an upsurge of groups. I don't know if they're white supremacists. I don't know if they're anti-Muslim or something like this. I don't know. But apparently there was a big group was having some kind of rally, going to have a rally at City Hall in Toronto last week. Or maybe it was even scheduled for this weekend. I don't know when. And the City of Toronto banned it. Said they couldn't protest. And I guess if you do a legitimate protest in our area, you have to apply for a permit to do it, right? Because basically they put the cops out to help with things like crowd control or whatever and all that kind of stuff, and all that costs money. So there's a license fee to have a protest rally, an organized protest rally. So the City of Toronto said this, whatever this group was, and I still don't know what the group was, they banned them. And rightly so. A lot of people think that we have freedom of speech in this country. We actually don't. It's a given in our country that, yes, you have the right to say what you want to say unless it's hate directed. Like you just can't go in and say, be a white supremacist and say murder anybody else who is not a white supremacist or anything like that. But we don't have anything in our human rights code that says, or in our Constitution says we have the freedom of speech, like the Americans do. And it's funny because a lot of people think we have that, but they're mistaking it with what Americans have in their Constitution. They have it listed right there, freedom of speech. We don't. We do have other clauses that sort of suggest that, yes, you can protest peacefully, voice your concerns and stuff like that. But if push came to shove, you do not have the right to just get up and say whatever you want. And thus the reason why they're banning these rallies, because they consider them hate rallies. And I think it's a good thing, especially in the climate that we've had right now in Toronto over this past summer with the shootings and the killings and the stuff like that. That's really bad. And this brings me to something that may piss off some of you, but I'm sorry, because I'm pissed off right now. We're driving to the hospital this afternoon to see my mother, and there's a car in front of us, and it has a New York license plate. And on the license plate holder at the bottom, there's a picture of a gun, and it says, "We support the Second Amendment." The Second Amendment in the U.S. Constitution is the right to bear arms. And, everybody's heard about the whole controversy there. Okay, that's in your country. In my country, you do not have the right to bear arms. It is not part of our Constitution. We have gun control laws. Don't you come up to our country and tote what your Constitution says, because your Constitution from any country in the world is nil and void when you're in somebody else's country. You are not protected in our country by your Constitution. Unless you drive directly to Do Not Pass Go and go into the American Embassy, because that's considered American property within a country. And therefore, American Constitution and laws apply to that little plot of ground that has that little building on it. That's your embassy. I was irate for two reasons. One, arrogance. Absolute arrogance. Don't you come up to our country toting your philosophy on guns. You tote that down in your own country. That's fine. That's your country. You come up here, no. Two, insensitivity. Now, I know that a lot of people that do not live in Canada do not follow the Canadian news. Why would you? Right? But in North America, when really North America is made up of 3 countries, that's it, Mexico, United States, Canada, it's not hard to hear what's going on across the borders. So we just had 2 people killed, 13 people wounded by a nutball down in one of the districts of Toronto 2 weeks ago. In June, we had a nutball in a van run over a whole bunch of people and kill. How many did he kill in that one? There was more than 2.
I can't remember.
4 or 5, plus a lot of people injured. In another area of Toronto, we have shootings happening almost every day, it seems, in Toronto, if you listen to the news. So you've got a thing supporting having guns. You're an asshole. It's simple as that. If I had a magic marker, and if that guy had been stopped beside us, I would have knocked on my window and said, roll it down, roll it down. Hi, welcome to Canada. You're not welcome if you've got that kind of thing in your car, but I have a magic marker. We can fix it in 2 minutes. Not a problem. Asshole. Really. What are you people thinking in the United States? We're not going to take this anymore, okay? We're not the sorry Canadians anymore. Go, oh, sorry, and look the other way. No. We've grown up quite a bit in the last little while, and we're not going to take it. And I'm sorry if those of you that are my American viewers are taking offense to what I'm going to say. You know what I say to that? Too bad. Don't watch me then. But that's how I feel. That got me really, really ticked. So let's see, what are people talking about here? Andy says, in her country, our constitution allows for the right to bear arms for militia. Yeah. Julie says, guns should be banned in any country. Sorry if that offends anyone. I agree totally, Julie. In this day and age, we do not need guns for survival. We are not, most of the world doesn't go out and shoot animals to survive. So hunting you don't need. That's one of the arguments we do have in this country about gun restrictions. That certain groups, like the indigenous people, who are especially in the far north, they still do hunt, some of them. But even they do not need to hunt in this modern day and age for survival. So, no. Brenda says she respects my opinion, and thank you. And probably the people that I have watching us on here are probably the sensible people. Well, I don't say probably, are the sensible people. You know what I speak of. But can you imagine? I mean, okay, here's something I'm going to say, and please don't get too uptight with me. But would you put on the back of your car on a license plate, kill all foreigners, or worse? Would you put that on there? And would people allow you to have that? I mean, in the States, in the southern United States, there was all that controversy over the flying Confederate flags because of what the Confederate flag represents. So, you know, like, let's get off the toilet, people.
Like,
and
I know here, if you try and put out a Confederate flag, you'll be charged with a hate crime.
Yes, that would be considered a hate crime. Which, especially in our country, because, you know, you can make the case, I think, in the United States about the history of the Confederate flag. I mean, after all, let's not forget, there was a Civil War in the United States. There was not a Civil War in Canada. Actually, we did have a little Civil War. It was called the Upper Canada Rebellion in the 1830s. But that wasn't really a Civil War. That was just a couple of people shooting each other, and that was over really quick. But, so, you know, a Confederate flag here is banned, for sure. Because to us, the Confederate flag, we know it represents, you know, hate. In the States, I'm sure there are some Southerners who still consider themselves part of the Confederacy or something, and that the Civil War shouldn't have happened. But of course, it's got all kinds of other messages in there as well. So I don't know. But, you know, if you're going to go to a foreign country, I guess this is what I have to say about this. Would you go into a Muslim country and pull off a hijab or a burqa off a off a lady there. I mean, you would have to be suicidal to even think about doing that, for one thing, and that would just be so disrespectful, to say the least. And that. So why do you come to our country and advertise that you support the bearing of arms when you know that our country does not support that kind of thing at all? I mean, just at least cover it up. If you're up here for a couple of days or something, don't advertise it. Julie says the world has gone mad. Yes, I think it has. And Mel says, yes, and this kind of things are happening more and more all over the world, unfortunately. They are, and I've been trying to figure out why. Tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit about my philosophy on why suddenly in Canada we seem to be not so nice anymore. That we've got some of the same problems other countries in the world have, that we always we're proud of the fact that we didn't have those problems, but we have those problems. And why is that? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, so I'm not going to get into it now. Andy says, most people don't realize the Confederate flag was actually the flag for the Army of Northern Virginia. There was no one flag for the Confederacy. I didn't know that. But that does make sense when I think about what I know of Southern history and that too. So, yeah. But anyways, I guess bottom line is this. We have to think about the sensibilities of other people in other countries. We don't live there. So we have to respect their customs. We may not agree with them, but we're visiting. So it's only polite to, go along with what your hosts are doing and then go home and bitch about it. So, whatever. Well, enough of that, but that really pissed me off today. So, what's pissing Walter off? Not quite the same degree, but something people should be concerned with. Your Canadian Tire on E-Line and the Triangle card.
Triangle card. What?
Yeah, you were talking. Well, talk about the.
Oh well, Canadian Tire is a store here, and it's sort of a hardware store, but it sells automotive parts mostly.
Sells everything.
Such the name Canadian Tire. But anyway, so I shop there frequently if I want to buy tools or something like that. Well, they had a big clearance sale on this week, and I saw something on the clearance sale that I wanted, and the one that's close to here has had one of these things I wanted for sale. So it's fairly easy to order online and then just go pick it up at the store. So I ordered it online, and I've had a problem with this particular branch of the store before, but anyway, I ordered it online. I got a receipt that said it was ordered and that it would be available for pickup at 8 o'clock that same evening. So I ordered at 1 o'clock, and then at almost 7 o'clock at night, I got a message, your order was canceled because the part is not in stock, when it said it originally was in stock. So what annoyed me about that was, well, I was able to get it at a different store, but what annoyed me about that particular item was that their inventory system must be flawed in such a way that if something gets ordered, that it's not updated right away, right? So I don't know if they couldn't. My suspect is this particular store is kind of unorganized. So if I suspect that they went looking for the part that said it was in stock and they couldn't find it, and so then they canceled my order because the very next day I checked again and they suddenly had it listed again as being available.
Okay,
so,
good system.
Yeah, so that's a good system. Anyway, I wrote them a lengthy email the other night complaining about their inventory practices and that. But I'm just saying these stores that nowadays are all having this e-commerce and they're doing this stuff where you can order stuff online and that, they really need to have up to the minute inventory all the time and accurate and otherwise people keep ordering stuff and it keeps getting canceled or something like that.
Well, that's stupid with it all.
So I was ticked off with that. But I was able to get it at a different location. I ordered it online there too. And it was another store, another Canadian Tire store that's local. But I had to go a little further out. And but then the second thing that really annoyed me about that is I did order it. I got to the store, but the only place you could pick it up at is the courtesy desk, which also handles returns. And there was a 20-minute lineup to pick it up. So I also complained about that. So that
We're just
annoys
grumpy
me.
old men, really.
Yeah. Well, I think they should have a separate line for people that pick up stuff and a separate line for people that return stuff. But of course, what happens there is they don't have enough employees. So.
No, because it's all about how much they're going to pay people.
And the other part of the problem with these stores is that they have lockup systems. Like happens is if your item is an expensive item that you want to buy or one that's easily stolen, because we do have theft in this country, is they'll lock the items up in a lockup. So if you go to the store to buy it, you have to wait for somebody to unlock it for you to get the
Yeah,
product.
and then they have to find the key. And
Yeah, I know.
'cause
So
I've been
that's
through
why
that
I
before.
ordered it online, because then I don't have to avoid going through the lockup system.
I mean, these stores now wonder why they're losing business to e-commerce.
Or to Amazon
Or
or something
Amazon,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, the part that I looked at, Amazon did sell, but it was more expensive than what I paid for it. So
yeah. Oh, hi, Cindy. She's here. Marion says they just don't want to hire enough help. Gives the CEO more money. Yeah.
yeah.
Basically, it's the bottom line is the
Well,
profit.
CEO and stockholders.
Yeah. But I said to Walter, you wrote that what, on Friday?
Yeah.
I said, give them a few days. If you don't hear anything from them by Wednesday, I would send it again and say, you've already sent this one and you are expecting a reply, because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And they should give you a reply. It'll probably be full of bull, but
Yeah.
you know, but if people don't complain about stuff like this, how does a company know that there's a deficiency, and if they truly want to do good business with people, have good relationships with the customers, they need to know that there is a weakness somewhere. And you know, so you have to be.
I mean,
grumpy old
stores
man.
do surveys all the time and stuff like that, man. I think I do some of these surveys, but a lot of times they're not asking the right questions.
No, those surveys are skewed
Yeah.
into their favor. Whoever puts them together, yeah. Well, like I said, you got to complain. And
Actually, I think it's probably good to complain to the store, because if you don't complain, they don't know that there's a problem.
That's what I just said. That's what I meant. They don't
Yeah.
know. They may not honestly. Like on one end, it may seem that they're doing this to piss you off. The other way to look at it is they just don't realize there's a flaw because no one has said anything. And I really think you got to. It's like a restaurant. I used to, for years, we'd go out someplace for dinner. They'd seat us in a rotten spot in the restaurant. The meal would take twice as long to come to you as it did for everybody else. They'd screw up. I mean, the number of times that we had been to a restaurant where he'd get his meal and I wouldn't get anything. That has happened. That seems they see me coming and go, oh, let's screw that guy around. But you just sit there and you're polite. Oh, okay. No, we're not in any rush. That's okay. And I refuse. When you go out for dinner, and we don't go out a lot anymore like we used to when we were younger and the whole bit. I refuse, if I'm dropping a couple $100 in a nice restaurant for dinner, to be put on the back burner, and if it's not the way I want it, I'm going to say something. So, you know, if you go to the Keg, for example, the Keg always has a waiting line.
The Keg is a chain steak restaurant.
Yeah. Hi, Nairi. And it's a very popular restaurant, and you can't make reservations unless you're a party of 3,000, kind of a thing for it. And that's okay. We know that. So when we go, we always, you know, they take your name, and they usually will tell you, like, well, it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour to 90 minutes or something like that. I don't think, there's been only maybe one time where we actually waited that long.
Yeah.
Usually it's a lot less than that. But that's okay, because we know in advance that that's what's going to happen. So we go into the bar area, we get a drink, and we sit there. It's an occasion. You know, it's social. It's a night out kind of a deal. So that's fine. We're not in any rush. But when they come to seat us, I'm very picky about where I sit in a restaurant. I do not like sitting in those long booth seats, the long, there's a table, but there's a bench seat, and it may hold 10 people.
There's a bench seat, and then the tables are really close together, like one long bench seat, and then there's tables along the wall, and
about this much room between each table to squeeze by. To sit down.
Right. So what ends up happening is you end up sitting right next to somebody
In their lap.
they're basically basically listening to their conversation, and they're listening to your conversation.
And you're brushing knees.
Yeah, and I don't. It's too close for me.
Yeah.
So
And I don't like that, and especially when there are other tables that are not like that in the restaurant. It's one thing if you walked into a restaurant, it was a diner style kind of place, and you're there and you're grabbing a quick sandwich or something like that. But when you're eating with the kind of restaurant I'm talking about, I don't want to sit there. And the thing is, I don't have to sit there. Yes, I might have to wait a little longer for a table, and that is fine. Like I said, I plan for that. So it throws them off. They go and they sit us down. And I go, I don't want to sit there. I'm sorry. I would rather have, and I'll point out, that other type of seating, that's okay. And I'll say, and we're not in any rush. We'll go back into the bar and wait until something comes up for that. No problem. And they don't know what to say. They look at, okay, I'm sorry, sir. All right. And they take us back into the bar area. And then 2 seconds later, someone comes out and they've got us a table where we want to be. So, and if they sit me next to the kitchen doors, no, don't want that. It's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm paying this money. I get to sit where I want to sit. If I have to wait for it, then I'll wait. I'm not expecting them to suddenly, rearrange their whole seating plan just for me, but I'll wait. As simple as that. And the other thing too about this particular restaurant is, because we're very fast eaters, we can be in and out of this restaurant literally in half an hour, from beginning to end, once we've sat down. Because they do this team serving. Most restaurants do these days. It's more efficient the way they do it and that kind of thing. So what we have to do is we time it. We'll have an appetizer, but we will not put in our food order until we're finished the appetizer. And actually, we tell them that. We let them know our schedule. And I'm not hiding it or being secretive about it. I'll say to the guy or the woman who's waiting on us, I'll say, look, we are extremely fast eaters, and we really don't want to be in and out of here in 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is order an appetizer. And then when we're finished the appetizer, we will put in our food order then. Now, the keg, if you get something called their classic, it comes with like a salad or something. And that is usually sort of like an appetizer salad. So if we've had appetizers, like escargot or something first, then we order this, and we know we're going to get a salad. So we'll say to them when they bring this, when they take our order, please don't put in our order into the kitchen this is a steakhouse kind of a place. Please don't put in our main course until we have finished the salad. And that way, you have a more leisurely meal. Actually, it kind of works in their favor too, because in the meantime, we've had a bottle of wine. And on occasion, we're still waiting for dinner by our choice. We might have another bottle of wine, so they're making some more money out of that. So, but that's I make the determination, and that's all right. I'm the one paying the money, So, sorry if that means your restaurant isn't running at the efficiency level that you want, because again, it's all profit driven. But it's my night out, my money. So I don't think anybody should be afraid to criticize, or in a positive way. Don't mean just to be like a completely ignoramus and bitch about everything, or that kind of thing. But within reason, and put it in such a way that you explain the situation so they know that you're being reasonable. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. It's your dollar, okay? If you don't look after yourself, who will? Kind of a thing. So let's see what's going on here. For Nairi at 8:45 a.m. Monday. She's just having brekkie. And for Julie, it's 10 o'clock at night in the UK. Yeah, we're on all different time zones, right? So anyways, that was what was pissing off Walter with a little sideline from me. So let's change to what we're watching on TV. Castle Rock. Seen the first 4 episodes?
Yeah.
And was that on Netflix or is that Crave?
That's Crave.
Crave TV.
It's on Space TV.
Oh, it's on Space too, like our channels. Really interesting. It's based on Stephen Stephen King's stories, although it's not technically one of his stories, but it's got links to it. It's really quite good. It's kind of a mystery, kind of got not horror elements to it, but sort of thriller elements to it. Kind of like it, and I don't know who it was that recommended it. Or that might have been one of our friends out here, not on that.
Dave.
Dave. And then we just finished the season 1 of Ozark. That's good. That's good. It's got Jason Bates in it. Now that's on Netflix. And I think the second season, is it second season started yet?
Yeah, no, it starts at August 31st, I think.
It's really good. It's about a guy who is in trouble with the cartel, the drug cartel in Mexico, and he's laundering money for them, like millions of dollars, and they just won't let him go, and they're threatening his family, and they go off to the Ozarks in the United States to start up companies there that they can launder money through, and it's actually, there's some gore to it. Actually, there's quite a bit of gore to it, especially when those eyeballs come in the jar, but I say too much. So it's actually quite good. And Julie says she loves Stephen King books. And it's soon bedtime for Mel. It's 12:15 Monday morning in Finland. And so anyways, yeah, those are good. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this show. I know it's becoming popular in the States, but it's called Letterkenny. And it is a comedy series. It's Canadian, and it's really kind of bizarre. I think it's hilarious. You will find it though hard to understand because they use a lot of slang that I have never heard a Canadian in my life ever talk like this, the way they do. Like they all stand around kind of, so how are you now? Hard no on this, and they have all these expressions I have never ever heard except on this show. And so I know that the first 2 seasons are available in the States. They've just finished their 5th season up here. And I don't want Americans to think that all Canadians talk like they do on this show, because we don't. And there are a whole bunch of bumpkins in this show. So it's good. It's quite good. It's funny. But you may have to watch each episode twice in order to understand what they're saying, because we don't understand what they're saying sometimes. So those are good. At the movies, we haven't gone to a show, but we saw one on Netflix called Extinction, which at first wasn't really sure what it was going to be about, but there seemed to be aliens attacking Earth and basically destroying every human they could get their hands on. Well, there's a real good twist in this movie, because the aliens that are attacking are not actually aliens. Maybe I shouldn't tell you anything. Let's just say they're not really aliens, and the humans that they're attacking are not really humans. But it's quite good. So if you get a chance to see it, it was on Netflix as well. It's called Extinction. So what else? Oh, on YouTube last night we were watching some videos about embroidery machines, but they've come out with some fantastic new machines. Brother is one of the manufacturers of these machines. They've got ones now that have a projector built into them, and it shines down onto your fabric so you can see your design and adjust it from this. It's really cool. Of course, these are top-end machines, so they're like a really cool price, too.
And we discovered that Brother also makes top-end sewing machines for Baby Lock. Another manufacturer.
Yeah.
Because they unboxed a new top-of-the-line Baby Lock, and it's exactly the same as the Brother machine. So I did some investigation, and Yeah, I found out that the top end embroidery machines are made by Baby Lock are actually made by Brother.
Yeah, but it's sort of like the appliances too. Isn't everything made by Whirlpool now?
And all the North American appliances are
Yeah.
made by Whirlpool. Whirlpool makes Whirlpool, and they make
KitchenAid.
KitchenAid, and they make a couple other brands too,
Yeah.
like Hot Point and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, can you say the word monopoly? I don't know. But anyways, these machines are really cool. And they come at a cool price too, I'm sure. I mean, they never quote the prices on them, but you know that they are $14,000.
That's the list price.
The list price. You can probably get it for less,
Sewing machines are weird in that they never quote the lower end machines. They'll quote a price for, but the higher end machines, you can never find a price for them online. You dropped it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, 5-second rule. Pasta piece. My floors are so clean you can eat off them. Literally. Little mustard, little ketchup. I can't get that. I'll have to get it afterwards. Oh, no, I lost it. I'll have to pick it up. But anyways, I'm waiting for them to come up with the machines that cut your material, put it into the machine, sew itself, and all you do is say, cut that, sew that, finish that, done. Which I don't think we're that far off of that kind of technology, really. They're called
get
robots.
cars that drive yourself. So.
Yeah, really. Think about it. There's cars that drive themselves. Whoa, remember when we were kids? That was just things that science fiction were made of, and now we actually have cars that drive themselves, park themselves. Whoa. Okay. I won't be able to afford one of those cars, though, until the 2040 models come out. And what's cooking? Walter made a peach pie, and I have a video of parts of that for tomorrow's vlog as well. And he has made a pie in a year. And pie is one of my favorite food groups.
I've made pies with it in a year. I've made a peach pie in a year.
When was the last time you made a pie?
A while ago.
Within recent memory before
Yeah.
Alzheimer's?
I was using frozen.
Frozen vegetables. That's why I don't remember. It was a veggie pie. It wasn't a fruit pie.
Frozen fruit.
Anyways, really good pie. And actually last weekend...
Better be, otherwise I'm not making another one.
Yeah. Well, we picked up a pie. Actually, I think he got the impetus because I bought a pie at a place out where my mother's in the hospital kind of
It
thing on the way
sells
home.
apples and
They
stuff.
sell apples and they sell, like, they're a fruit market kind of a thing, and they have vegetables and they have a bakery on site and they make these pies. And they're not particularly cheap. I got a tiny pie that was supposed to be strawberry rhubarb for $7, and the crust was made from cardboard, and the fruit filling was probably jam. I don't know.
It was supposedly strawberry rhubarb. You found the odd piece of rhubarb.
Yeah.
And this
There was no strawberries in it. It was just strawberry goo.
Yeah.
And it was, needless to say, it was a bit of a disappointment.
And you paid $7 for it.
Yeah, for that. And, well, his pies are better than any pies you can buy. He's the king of pie making.
Well, I'll try to use fresh fruit when it's available, but I have made the odd pie using frozen fruit, and actually it comes out okay.
Well, Nairi wants to know, Walter, do you make your own pastry?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yes, he does. And
Years and years ago, I tried, story on that was I always liked fruit pies. And my mother never knew how to make them because she was Dutch, and her parents, in Holland, they don't really make those. So I never, maybe they do now, I don't know. But my mother never could quite figure out how to make pie crust, and it was always tough as nails when she did make it. And so I always wanted to learn how to make it. Well, I have two sisters. They could never figure out how to make it either. So I did some experimenting. I had a lot of failures in getting it right. But one day I found
the back of the Crisco box.
On the Crisco box, the shortening box, a recipe for it, and I wrote it down. Actually, it's not the recipe that's on there now. But I wrote it down, and I've used it ever since, and it's basically vegetable shortening with flour and some salt and a little bit of water and And I've made it from that recipe ever since.
But you chill your dough.
Yeah, but what you have to do is you mix everything together in room temperature, and you have to chill it in the refrigerator for a bit before you roll it out. Otherwise, it all falls apart.
Before I met Walter, I made my own pies. And I used my grandmother's recipe, which my mother swore was the best. My grandmother made the best pies of anybody ever in the world. And first of all, my mother said you don't use shortening, you use lard. And you only roll it out once. If you have to roll it out a second time, you might as well throw it away. It'll be tough. Never roll it more than once. And I made it. I was never very good at it. But then I met him, and then the first time he'd ever made a pie that we tried, well, my mother just, she says, this pie is really good. This is better than my mother's, meaning my grandmother, right, out of that, which was high praise from my mother. Because my grandmother's pies were very good, too, but his are far better. And my mother says, well, you must use lard. And he says, no, use Crisco shortening. And I said,
well, that probably works. I've never tried using lard, but it's probably the same because it's still fat.
Yeah. But then my mother said, and I said, and guess what? He rolls it out more than once. If it rips, he'll start again and put it in. And I said, you always said that Grandma said if you rolled it out more than once,
well, the only problem with rolling it out.
This is always flaky.
The only problem with rolling out
Kinda
more
like
than once is that it dries out a little bit if you roll it out more than once.
But I don't. And then my mother said, well, where did you get the recipe? And he says, the side of the Crisco box. Okay. So anyways, but they're good. And like I said, pie is one of my favorite food groups. I could eat pie till the cows come home. Oh, there I did it again. No. Let's see, what are people saying? Mel says, Stephen, I usually leave that job eating from the floor to my dog. I don't have a dog. I have to do it. Sacrifices I have to make, Mel. Kathy loves peaches. So anyways, so that's what he made a pie. So what's coming up? Okay, so earlier I mentioned because of Greta in Calgary about this woman, Kim. Jameson Hurst is her name. And I did last week on my vlog, if you saw it, I reviewed her YouTube channel and her website. And I've joined it. It's a membership site for quilters. And it's very good. Actually, it hasn't gone full blown. It won't until next month. But she had a trial period, so you could try it out and decide whether or not you were. Oh, excuse me. A little gassy there. Whether or not you wanted to stay as a member, and it's $10 US a month to belong. Well, I am going to stay because I found what she had put up there was very professional and very, very educational. Well, it turns out I was chatting with her in her site, and she told me that her husband had grown up in the town next door to us, Whitby. Well, so did I. And I said, well, what high school did he go to? And I told him what high school I went to and what years I'd gone there. And I also taught at my old high school when I first got my teaching job when I taught there. And she wrote back, she says, I don't really know what high school he went to. She says, I'll have to ask him, but that would be in around the same time period. And I think she meant the same time period as when I went to high school. So anyways, it turns out that they're traveling out here. Actually, they're out here right now. They came out last Friday, and they were spending, I think, a week up in an area north of us, Bracebridge it's called, because I think her family come from that area, and I think they were going up there to visit them. And then they were coming back down and staying in Whitby for a little while, and I imagine to visit his family. So I said to her, and when she wanted to go to the Ultimate Sewing Store, because she'd heard about it and wanted to check it out, being a quilter. And I said to her, well, maybe if you've got time, maybe we can get together. Well, we are. They're coming here next Friday. We're having afternoon munchies and drinks and stuff and, to talk about whatever. So I think this is really quite interesting, making another connection through, YouTube. I mean, we made a connection with Nairi when we went to Australia because of this as well and that kind of thing. So you see, the world's a small place. So I'm debating whether or not I want to record some of it when she's here. Because she wants to talk about YouTube stuff too, because she does YouTube as well. And I want to talk to her about her setup for how she does her videos, because she switches between cameras. And I'm still looking. I say this every week. I'm still looking for something that's affordable and does what I want to do. I'm still not coming up with it. So anyways, that's going to be kind of fun, kind of interesting. And it's my mother's birthday next week on Wednesday. What do you get a woman who's in a hospital? Out? I don't know. So my sister, she's gone off on a week's holidays right now, but she's arranged for flowers for my mother to arrive to the hospital room. Well, that's easy for my sister because she works for a florist. So, like, that's a no-brainer. I don't know. I think I may just go over to the Laura Secord chocolate store and get her favorite chocolates, or Laura Secord miniatures, if you know what those are. Get her a box of those. I was going to get her some books. In fact, I got her some books just from Value Village because, as I said, you know, I don't spend money on brand new books that are going to be read once and then tossed somewhere. Well, then she ran out of reading material end of last week. So I said, okay, I've got 3 books here that I picked up, so I'll bring those over. So, you know, so we'll give her a nice card. I thought maybe I'd stop at the bakery or something and get a little tiny individual cake or cupcake or something as well. My mother likes her sweets, so as well. But, you know, what else can you get somebody at her age and whatnot? And a card, of course. And cards are so sappy, some of them in the store. Now, I know you're going to think I should have made her a card, but I didn't. In fact, one reason why I didn't make her a card is my mother's one of those kind of people that tosses cards. I have given her bundles of my cards that I make, as so that she, like, they're blanks, so she could give them to other people. Well, when we were over at her apartment checking on things the other day, I looked in a drawer and there were the bundles of cards. They never had the ribbon taken off them or anything, so I just brought them all home because she's not going back there anyways, and figured, well, what the heck, she's not using them. So yes, I got my mother a birthday card from the dollar store. So hate me, whatever. It's the thought that counts. Yeah, you're going to say not much of a thought. I don't care. That's okay. So, and let's just see. I think we're getting pretty much close to our time here, so let's just see what people are saying. Make her a bland bag. Yeah, I thought about that. In fact, I was showing you the little bags.
The pouch.
The pouch. I have been working on, this was the 3rd pouch that I was thinking of making for my mother, and I didn't like any of them. That's the closest one. Because for her brushes that she's got there. I may still do it. I don't know. I got her a couple of plastic containers to kind of neaten up a pile of crap that she has all over the little table that they put her lunch on, and the little nightstand that they have there too, because it's just, everything's all over the place. And I'm a bit of a neat freak. I can't stand things that are disorganized, and which my mother was always that way too. That's where I got it from. And now it's like, the hell with it. Let the help get it. I don't know. Whatever. Buy her all of Dina Goldman Outlander books. 8 books about. She's read them all. She loves those, and she's watched the TV show too, as well. Yep, she's watched them all. I read the first one. I didn't hate it. I just had to throw up halfway through it. It's just, oh my God. I mean, the guy in it sounds cute. There's no two ways about it, you know, and she goes back in the past and all this stuff and whatnot. But come on, this is the kind of book. My mother loves these kind of books, though. You know, they're the ones that have the half-naked guy with the girl in his arms hanging over, and usually it's Fabio with long hair or something like that. That's what these are kind of like. Although I've never watched the TV program, and I've often thought about watching it. Miriam says, my grandmother was born in Aurelia, and I have a lot of ancestry in the Waterloo area. My husband and I visited Elora several years ago and stayed at the old mill. What a beautiful area. Yep, we know that area fairly well too, because we go up there every so often. Andy says, what about a smaller bland bag with some toiletries? Yeah, and that's what I was just saying about that too. And Priesty says, I'm going to do a 5D diamond painting, new craft. Is that the ones with the little beady things that you stick and it's all laid out. Debbie. Oh, hi, Debbie. My son gets store-bought as well. He says homemade, big deal. So what? Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, I know. You only save the ones that you make for the people you know appreciate them. And then Andy says, Debbie, that's why you only give handmade things to people who will appreciate your work. Yep, that's true. But anyways, so that's the week, and I don't know, maybe we'll get a chance. We're talking about taking the gimbal. Walter's been playing with it a little bit. You know, that thing I said is a stabilizer for the camera and that. And going to this place called Parkwood for high tea or lunch.
And Parkwood is actually used in filming in a lot of TV shows. So mainstream ones, like even...
but the garden area of it is huge and is very, very beautiful. And we thought we'd maybe go there during the week and have a little lunch and do a little video so you could see what we're talking about, because this time of the year, the weather we've had lately is very good for that.
Parkwood's the estate of the late owner of
GM.
General Motors.
General Motors Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Canadian branch. But anyways, that's what we're trying to think of. Trying to bring you more stuff to show you, you know, the area, because some people have asked to see more of our area, so we're trying to do that. How'd you like the Bastard Bunny video last week? Nairi says, sounds lovely. We'll all meet you there. Okay, no problem. All right, so that's our time for today, people. Thanks for watching. Mm-hmm. And Andy says she likes the room you're in. Yeah, actually, this is just an extension, Andy.
This is actually the kitchen.
This is actually the kitchen. We have an area, it's the counter where you usually see us, and we're only 4 feet away from that area. And this is what this part looks like.
Can you turn it?
I can probably, if I'm at the risk of losing any of you, here, I'll just see if I can give you a little view. Okay, so this is where you usually see us. And if I keep going around, this is where our kitchen table is. And then the walkout to our deck. And then we have a TV, the stereo is there. And then love seat. And the couch. And we're back to Walter. So there. You've had a 360-degree view of this area. And I hope it didn't make you sick while I was doing it. So, anyways, everybody have a good week. And we'll see you next Sunday. And my vlog tomorrow. And, yeah, have a good one. Mm-hmm. Bye for now.
Bye.